Hey guys, Atari 8-Bit Game Hunter. I'm just going to do a quick recap of my pickups for the past weekend at the local flea markets. Also, I'm going to do a recap of what I was able to pick up over on eBay. The leftover packages that have been coming in the mail. Two games I got in that I didn't pull off the shelf, but are noteworthy. I got Donkey Kong for the Atari XEGS with the blue label, and I picked up Crime Buster with the XE blue label, and I believe both of them combined came out to about $30. Very good deals. Also picked up Peanut Butter Panic by CBS. It's very nice condition, well worth the money for it. I think it was like $8, $6 or something. It was a very good price. And then this morning we hit the flea market. I say we because I went with my boy Matt. We decided to hit the flea market together, see what we can come up with. And I learned that I am a very, very fast picker when it comes to hunting down video games. I don't take the time to stop and look at CD games because I don't do Xbox, PS2, the Wii, anything like that. But it paid off for my boy because he picked up for 50 cents a sealed VHS tape of Diddy Kong for the N64. It was a promotional item given out to stores and for promotional purposes. And he got that for 50 cents, which was a very good deal. Big ups to you, Matt. You did a good job on that. And while he was doing that, I was moving down a couple of tables because CDs and such really bored me. Had I known Diddy Kong was out on the table there for 50 cents, I would have picked it up myself. But since I was being bored at the table, I went down and picked up two Nintendo 64 games for $2 a piece. And they include Tetris Sphere. And even though the label is completely missing from this one, it's Diddy Kong Racing. Ironically, the game that he has now the VHS tape of. And I paid $2 a piece. I think for this one I'm just going to go online, download the label, and make a reproduction label, stick it on there, and call it a day. Which wasn't bad at all. One game that my boy missed that I located and picked up for a couple of bucks was Beam Rider for the Atari 2600. I heard this was a pretty decent game. A little bit of wear on the label at the corner, but overall the cartridge is in very nice shape. Can't wait to get that game started this week and give it a go. Let's see, what else do we want to do? I like my standalones and my handhelds, and was able to pick up an original Pocket Simon. As you can see by the back of it, this to me is very reminiscent of the originals back in the early 80s. And for $5, I'm not going to pass up on it. A nice clean Pocket Simon to add to my collection. I don't know how well the buttons are. I'm going to get some double A's. I'm going to give it a shot and see how that works out. Another item I picked up for a couple of bucks is a nice little AC adapter. Got a little bit better view. And I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see it, but it's for Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, with a little switch to go back and forth between the two. And with the different connectors, there we go, a couple of different connectors for each one of the systems. I figure this is going to be good because I have both a GBA and GB original at the top of my, see if we can get a shot of them real quick. Right up there at the top of the white cabinet. And I said, you know what? A couple of bucks, I'll pick it up, and now I'll have something I don't have to worry about AA batteries for. Matt, if you're watching, and you wanted to try out Castlevania and we didn't have the batteries for it, we had the adapter, we could have used it. Now we know for the future, right? Alright, moving right along. This is one that actually caught my boy Matt off guard. Apparently I have some type of superpowers here that can actually see through tables. We got to one of the tables at the second to last row of the flea market, and he's looking at the Game Boy games on top of the table, and I don't know, I must have been able to see through a table because I found for $8 a Coleco head-to-head baseball, and I tell you, this thing is complete in the box, mint with all the manuals and everything. It looks like it's never been played a day in its life. And this was hiding underneath the table. There was a bike sitting in front of it. You had the 8-foot table. You had all the stuff on the table. This was underneath it, hiding. And I somehow I managed to pull this thing. I said, "Oh, Matt, check this out, check this out." And he's looking and he goes, "What? The Game Boy? The Game Board? The bike in front?" And I'm reaching underneath the table, pulling this thing out of thin air. But I figure for $8, I'm not going to say no to a completely in the box, minty fresh Coleco handheld. But probably the possible deal of the day for $25 down at the local flea market is my TurboGrafx 16. It is nearly complete. It has the power adapter and the unit itself. It just needs a controller. And I got it back home. You guys remember last week I picked up a couple of games for the TurboGrafx for $2 a piece. I got to try out the system. I got myself an RCA cable, hooked it all up to the television. Works beautifully. So the hard part's over. I just need a controller and a multi-tap, and I'm going to be set to go. Definitely one of the best deals of the whole flea market, and I got it for less than $30. Okay, now this is where probably more than half my video today is going to go, and this is the side deal I did with my boy Matt about an Atari 800 system and some cash. Traded for a bunch of video game manuals for my Atari 2600 collection because I was missing a lot of. I have a lot of cartridges, but I don't have a lot of manuals, so I'm working on building up a collection of the manuals to go with it. You know, collect as you go. But the first time I want to show you, I'm going to save it for last. It's a cool item, and I can't wait to show you that because it's a work in progress, but it just needs the battery case cleaned out from all the corrosion from the batteries over the years. But I picked up a whole mess of manuals. A whole mess. And I'll share them with you guys real quick. The first one, 3D Tic-Tac-Toe. Let's move this over. Got Adventure, Air Sea Battle, Backgammon, Bowling, Brain Games, Breakout, Canyon Bomber, Code Breaker. And I'm noticing what Matt did when he was counting up how many of these he had and how much they were. He put these things into alphabetical order. Don't think I didn't notice that, Matt. Flag Capture, Hangman, Human Cannonball, Hut and Score, Indy 500, Miniature Golf. Very difficult game to find. I guess a lot of people didn't like buying that game back in the 80s, but personally, in my taste, I love playing that game. It's a lot of fun, especially with the limitations of the 2600 graphics back in the day. Picked up Night Driver, Othello, Slot Racers, Street Racer, revision number 5, Superman, which I love seeing the red manual instead of the black one. It looked better when they did it in multicolor. Video Pinball with the smaller version of it. Surround, and Video Olympics. These are all the small manuals, the thin ones, I guess you would call them. Then I picked up from that lot the Activision catalog for 1984, Atari Force Volume 2, 3, and 4. I don't know. Makes a difference where I put these things. Got a Centipede comic. A little bit of advertising. Raiders of the Lost Ark. A pair of warranty cards from Atari. Let's see what we got here. We got checkers for Activision. Space Jockey. Blueprint. Which came with the box and everything too, which was a nice touch. Nice to add to the collection. Star Voyager. Why did he give me 3 of these? I'm sure there's a reason why I got 3 of these, but Demon Attack. I could tell I had the red one and the black and white, but why I got the second, the backs of them are different, that's why. One says, the Magic, and the other one says the Magic Incorporated, so it's a variation of the manuals. I do take this seriously to some extent, but I didn't even realize that when I was pulling them. Laser Gates. Let's put these going the other way. Venture. Zaxxon for the Coleco brand games. Space Chase. Basic Programming. Backgammon. The SpectraVision catalog, along with Nexar and Tapeworm. 20th Century Fox, I managed to pull a Fast Eddie. A couple more Coleco games for the Atari 2600, including Mousetrap, Donkey Kong, and Carnival. For Sears, I managed to pull Target Fun, which is nothing more than Combat reincarnated on the Sears title. A whole mess of M Network Mattel games. Deadly Discs. Lock and Chase. Super Challenge Baseball. Super Challenge Football. Burger Time. The Adventures of Tron. Dark Cavern, and for Space Shuttle, the video game through Activision, managed to get the overlay that goes on the system. Sits just like this. It gives you all the information of what you need to do. There's a second overlay that goes across the power, the black and white, level select, all that, to give you more controls. I'm still looking for that, so in case anybody comes across it, let me know. I'd be interested in it. Got Indy 500. The 1983 fold-out catalog for Atari. By data age, we have Airlock, Encounter L5, Journey, Snake, which I heard was a very bad game, and a couple more catalogs. One by Magic, 2 by Magic, and the owner's manual for the Vader 2600. Let's see, make a difference how I hold this. There you go. And I think that's about it. Except for that one other item I wanted to show you guys. I was going to hold it to the very end. Something cool and different. And I just need to clean the battery acid out, the battery connections in the back. But a Hanimex Pong standalone Pong system. And to show you how old and, I guess in a way, cheap this thing was made, it doesn't keep track of the score on the TV screen. You have left and right here to control the score of what you guys are scoring on the playing Pong. But everything here just comes out and folds back in again. But I can't get over the fact that they don't have an in-system scorekeeping device programmed into the game that just shows up on the screen. You really need to sit there and move your score lever up and down. That's just insane. As far as the age of this one, it doesn't say. It says it's a Hanimex model 777. Use 6 C batteries, and beware the battery acid. And if you look at the back of it, you can see the battery acid already. Inside, it looks like it can be easily cleaned up. I'm going to be working on that this week. But this was a very good week once again for video games. Everything that I've been mailing out has been going out. I'm just dealing with 1 or 2 odds and ends on 1 or 2 deals. But I'm hoping everything's going to work out the way I hope it will. Anybody with any minor issues contacting me, I'm going to work through those. Hopefully get that worked out this week. And yeah, that's about it for this week, guys. It's been another very good gaming week up in New Jersey. I know people like Old School Brian does a lot of game hunting up in New Jersey. I don't know how well he's been doing with game hunting or anything, but feel free, Brian, hit me up if you want to come up to this area a little bit, take a look around what I have at my local flea markets, and we'll take it from there if you want. My invitation is always open because I'm always looking for new people to go hunting with and get different points of view on what to look for. With that said, you guys have a good rest of the day, enjoy, and I'll see you guys next week.